touch me.
Good
Like would you?
morning, Tangerines. Welcome to another episode of Sunday Morning Tangents with a couple of tan.
Jens. I
Thank
did
you,
it. I did it correctly, Jason.
thank you, sir. I appreciate that. That was really brave and honest of you. This, this is Sunday Morning Tangents with a couple of tangents. Blah 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 blah. Sorry, I keep losing myself here, Danny. I don't know what's wrong with me. Well, there's a lot. We're not gonna go down that path. No, not this time. Sorry.
No, not this time. But also, Jason, I think we need. I need to make an intro song for the
Hmm.
for the you know
Mm-hmm. So
you know.
before I go,
And here for tonight's show is the morning show actually. Our co-host Danny Solaris, and then our main host Jason Solaris.
co-host, your co-host, Danny.
That's what I said, co-host.
Your co-host, I'm co-host. We co-host together.
Eh.
We co-host together, Danny.
If we were interviewing somebody, Jason, I will let you go first.
To be honest, yeah, no, that would be necessary because I would.
You have the skills. That's
You
what
you know,
yeah.
you're here for the obviously the more the comic relief. Let's break the fourth wall here. Fourth wall, get it? Deadpool.
Deadpool.
Well, Marvel. You're here for the comic relief, obviously, Danny. So obviously we start off a little bit serious, right? If we interview somebody really serious, like I don't know, Martin Scorsese or something, but then you come in once you're like, okay, Jason's getting too serious. This is boring now. That's where you come in and you're like, hey, Marty, is it true that Leonardo DiCaprio has a small pee-pee? Allegedly. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
I would no, Jason. I would
I'm
ask
not
him if
saying
he has
that
a foreskin.
It's a better question. This is why you're the comic relief. Thank you.
Hey, Marcus Scorsese, does Leonardo DiCaprio has a foreskin,
It's a great question, Danny.
or does he snip?
I was gonna share some TMI. I'll share it with you after, but I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole. If this is your first time listening to Sunday Morning Tangents, you just got a little taste of a couple of tangents that we will eventually go on today. As you can see in the title, reacting to the Marvel news, Olympics, and more. The more is the tangent part, honestly. I have a rule of three, and I know this is just like a rule in English, like when you're taking English classes, Danny. The rule of three when you're writing, and I can't put reacting to the Marvel news and the Olympics. It does not make sense in my head. Like, I will force the third one in there. Always. Always. When I was writing,
I was something else.
it's always got to be something. There has to be blank, blank, and blank in my head. I mean, if there's more, there's more. But blank and blank, it just doesn't make sense for me, Danny. So, thank you for joining us today. This is Sunday Morning Tangents. You can catch us anywhere, including youtube.com/@SundayMorningTangents and anywhere you listen to podcasts. We are most likely there, and if we are not, let us know so we could update those. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe.
Damn, Jason.
How was that?
Yeah, you sound like a professional right there.
Look at that. Wow. Kind of proud of myself. I'm not usually that smooth. I guess it's the coffee. Dang.
Hey, look at that. Let me see.
Dang.
Eh?
It's Mickey giving the Korean heart as
I know, but I was like, what are you doing with this? And I'm like, I'm like, oh yeah, that's the love. It's a heart. Is his heart? It's a heart, but love. Eh?
Dang.
What is Mickey doing in South Korea? Is he gonna cross the border to North Korea? Damn.
It's a good segue into the first topic we could squeeze out of here, Danny, which is the Olympics. I don't know if you saw this, but I think it was on the BBC network where they were doing the opening ceremony. But by the way, great opening ceremony. And they announced when they were showing South Korea, they said North Korea.
Oh, I didn't
see that.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, they had to release a public apology about it because and you know they usually do these in alphabetical orders. The base orders alphabetical order. Like when they're coming out, there's a few exceptions. The host countries at the end. USA was second to last. Not positive why. I think is because it had the biggest the most amount of athletes, and then Australia was third to last, I think, because it was like the second or third amount of athletes. Then it starts off with Greece, because Greece is the
origin
of
the Olympics,
right? But then it goes into alphabetical order. I don't know. I mean, I guess we could assume they're not going to put South Korea and North Korea in the same boat, because if you don't know, this year's opening ceremony was on the Seine, on the French river, the Seine, and they were going on boats. So I don't know how it was that they confused, or they said North Korea instead of South Korea, but it happened. That's embarrassing. The Democratic People's Republic of Korea, I think, is the official name of North Korea. Democratic People's Republic of North Korea. Of Korea, which is funny. Democratic.
There's no democratic nothing at all. But hey, let's not go there.
We're not gonna go down that rabbit hole.
No, we're not gonna go there. But you know what rabbit hole we're gonna go, Jason?
Which one?
I mean, what people are hating this ceremony.
Oh my gosh! Truth be told,
I want to hear your opinion, Jason. I want to hear your opinion.
This thing was from 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 or 2 p.m. This was a long guy, right? And I think they prolonged it a little bit because they're going on the Seine, right? They're on the boats and they're going. And I think they needed like breaks between, because there might just not be enough boats. And by the way, the French are very sustainable. They're French Accord. Well, I shouldn't say very. They try to be. They're making efforts of it. They came up with the French Accords and all that. And they don't do plastic. They do very little plastic, one-time use, like equipment and stuff in France. And they had electric boats out there instead of gasoline boats. Because my first thought, Danny, I'm not going to lie to you, when I was seeing all these boats, I was like, hold on, French Accords, like, what are you guys doing using all these boats? And then it said powered by electricity. And I was like, you got me. Anyways, there were some breaks between. They had Lady Gaga. She was like the first little break. I forgot between one. So many thoughts now that I think about it, Danny, a little bit more, because they fucking did Guatemala dirty, and they did like 5-6 G countries really dirty, Danny. So the first like hour, I think, was uninterrupted, no commercial breaks, none of that. Right? They're going, the boats are going, and it's like, yay, and I'm like getting excited. Let's go Guatemala. Where are you gonna show us? Where are you gonna, some representation? We need it out there. There's about eight Guatemalan, Guatemaltecos, Chapines, athletes out there. Then, Danny, they showed the Ghana, I think, is where they cut to commercial break. They come back from commercial, Danny, and on these boats, there was like one boat that had 4 countries on it because they're smaller delegations. And they showed it. They've been zooming in on each country, and like each one, Danny. They zoom in. That like they showed.
Guatemala.
They just showed the boat for the 4, and just had like the flags or the countries on the bottom for the 4. Like, these are the 4 that are on this boat. And I was like, really? They did us dirty. Anyways, Lady Gaga, she killed it. She sang in French. Celine Dion killed it.
Good. You know what one I like? It was the metal band.
Yes, which I was leading. I wanted to give the shout outs first, because Celine Dion, I don't know if you know what's going on with Celine Dion, Danny, but she's
sick. Yeah, she's not doing so hot.
She's not doing so hot. I forget what she has exactly. If I was a better podcaster, I would have those notes. Producer, give me those notes in my head, please.
I think they were asleep.
Where? Let's see. We got one person in here. That might be you. Anyways, yeah. Gojira, French metal band, performed. Awesome performance, by the way. Like, the camera work was really cool. The controversial part, they had Marie Antoinette right there, with head cut off, holding it, and I was like, whoa, that is dark.
So this is Jason, what we're talking about. Like, it had many parts. The open ceremony had many parts. By the way, the open ceremony is not on YouTube right now. By the way, they cut off the open. Oh, we'll talk about this right now. But apparently, for me, I like this part. I was like, oh shit, this is like heavy metal, like the fire, and then and I was like, holy shit, that was badass. But a lot of people were like, this is where the demonic thing comes in. This is where the open ceremony. They're like, this is Antichrist,
Honestly,
and
they had a couple points.
oh no,
There were a few
yes, that's
things that
what.
was like,
Yeah.
ooh, wow, you're just saying score.
So I mean, this is the soft one, Jason. You know where we're gonna go after this. So I was watching it and I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. And then when we saw the first part though, the first part of the thing, this is with the blue representation of Jesus
Mm-hmm.
in the plate. What do you think about this, Jason?
You talking about the Last Supper, right?
The Last
The
Supper.
Last Supper with a couple people in drag. There was a little kid in there.
Yeah. It was a little kid and there's a guy showing his balls.
Mm-hmm. The whatever.
No, Jason. No, this is not whatever, Jason.
It's
No,
art.
Jason.
It's art.
That's art.
Art is whatever you represent, whatever the artist represents. If that's what the artist thinks is art, you gotta let them do their thing. Do I think it's okay? Yeah, I don't care. I think it's strange that they're doing that for the Olympics. That's where I'm like, oh, that takes guts, France. Like the International Olympic Committee. I am surprised more that because they have to okay basically everything that goes on. There's no way that they didn't know this was going to happen because they obviously had the camera work ready. Like there's so much preparation for this sort of thing. Like if you throw a curveball at the camera people, they're not always going to be prepared to pivot. So the directors, the camera people, everyone had to be on the same page for this.
Oh yeah.
I am just surprised that the IOC, International Olympic Committee, was just like, let's do it. Like, what's it gonna hurt? It's very surprising.
What I'm not okay with is, Jason.
What are you not okay with, Danny?
I'm not okay with the fact that why did they choose this when they could have done so much other things? That's the thing. I'm like, to me, you said this is art. I don't think this is art. I think this is just like saying somebody wanted to say something, and they wanted to say big. They wanted to show what they believe. This is, to be honest, not. Have you seen the other Olympic openings? Like the China Olympic ceremony in 2008 with a bunch of drums, like hundreds of drums.
Oh yeah, that one was sick.
Yeah, I was sick.
Yeah.
I'm not saying about they couldn't do something else. I'm just saying I feel like to me it felt like they were trying to tell something and they wanted to oh, this is why I believe.
So all of it had something to do with French history. Like every one of these, Gojira is a French metal band. Lady Gaga was singing in French. I don't know what they got. I think they wanted to get someone else to do it, is what I think I overheard or read somewhere, that they were looking for someone else. But Lady Gaga has always had some sort of fascination with the French, and she's sang in French before. What else did they do? I forget the other things. They did fashion shows and things like that.
French
designers, the Louis Vuitton, the baggage and all that, and the Last Supper painted by Leonardo da Vinci. Wait a minute, he was Italian.
Jason, this is what I'm going. This is what you like. This is what you think I'm going against. No, I don't care what the fuck that thing. It just doesn't make any sense. It's just, to me, it doesn't make any sense because they could say, yeah, Da Vinci is Italian. The reason why the Last Supper is there, it's just there. I mean, he did work. He was in France, wasn't he in France? Didn't he travel to France?
He died in France, is what I'm looking at here. And I would say it's safe to bet that the Last Supper painting resides in France. I don't know. Producers in my head.
I thought it resides in where it was. In Italy.
Where what was though?
Look, I'm just in general. I'm just saying they could have done something else.
It
didn't make any sense.
The Santa Maria del Garazzi in Milan, Italy.
There we go. See. That's what I'm saying. It didn't make any sense to me. Why would they choose something like that? Unless they were trying to say something about it. It's like they use this type of thing. Whoever the creator used this to show what he believed.
I mean, I think it could also just be what. It's not. This isn't getting signed off by one person. This isn't the organizer of the Olympics saying, I want it, I need it. This needs to go through the processes. This is not. I think that's where. I think it's like what we were talking about last week with people blaming Disney for all of it. they act like it's one person. And I'm not trying to put you in that little
No,
corner
no,
right now,
no,
but
no,
I mean,
no.
it seems to be just a thing that happens, or it's believed that Kathleen Kennedy, for example, has every say in it. She probably has final say. She probably has a lot of say, obviously, because she's the one in charge, was in charge. Now it's Dave Filoni. Couldn't get that name last week. I couldn't get that.
Yeah, I know.
We
I
couldn't
know.
get that name. It just came off the dome right now.
Yeah.
Whoever the organizer was, he didn't have last say. He probably had the ultimate. Sorry, he probably had the last say. He probably had the ultimate say, but he doesn't have the only say of what's going on. So it could have just been a French collection of